Ethan Hale had faced hostile takeovers, courtroom battles, and corporate worlds filled with sharks, but nothing in his 32 years prepared him for the sight waiting outside his penthouse door. The morning was unusually quiet, the city below still waking as the cold air drifted up the hallway. He reached for the handle, expecting the usual crisp newspaper or the aroma of freshly brewed coffee from the cafe downstairs. Instead, a soft whimper made him freeze. A small wicker basket sat at his feet, wrapped in a pale pink blanket. His breath hitched. He knelt slowly, unsure whether he was dreaming or hallucinating from too many sleepless nights spent managing his multi-million-dollar company. But the moment he lifted the corner of the blanket, the tiny face staring up at him made everything around him blur. A baby, a newborn, fragile, quiet, and impossibly small. Ethan's chest tightened. He glanced around the hallway, expecting someone to jump out and claim her. No one was there. The building was silent. Carefully, he picked up the folded note pinned to the blanket. His fingers trembled, something that never happened in boardrooms or during high-stakes negotiations. "You promised to protect us. Don't break it, Lila." The name punched the air out of him. Memories flooded back. Lila's laugh, her storm-dark eyes, the way she had once believed in him when he barely believed in himself. They had fallen apart 2 years ago, torn by the scandal that nearly destroyed his empire. He had pushed her away, convinced he was shielding her from the chaos. Maybe he had been wrong. Maybe he had broken something far more precious than he realized. He looked down at the baby again. Her tiny fingers curled helplessly, her mouth forming a soft O as she shifted in the basket. Ethan swallowed hard. Was she his? The thought sent a strange shock through him. Fear, wonder, guilt, and something he had long forgotten, tenderness. He lifted her awkwardly, supporting her head the way he remembered seeing in movies. She was warm, breathing softly against his chest, her weight light yet heavy with meaning. He stepped back into the penthouse, shutting the door behind him, heart pounding in a way that had nothing to do with stress or business. Why had Lila come to him like this? What danger was she running from? And why leave the baby with only a note? He paced the room, the baby cradled in his arms, feeling her tiny heartbeat against his chest. This wasn't a random act. This wasn't an accident. Lila was in trouble, real trouble. He had promised to protect her once. He had failed, but as he stared at the child, her child, maybe their child, he realized something with absolute clarity. This time, he wouldn't break his promise. Not again. Ethan barely slept that night. The baby, whom he had started calling her, simply because he didn't know her name, rested peacefully in a makeshift cradle on his leather sofa, wrapped in one of his soft black sweaters. Every so often, he checked on her, terrified she might disappear or stop breathing or cry in a way he didn't understand. He wasn't a father. At least, he didn't think he was. But the way she had curled her tiny hand around his finger earlier had carved something permanent into him. A responsibility, a connection he couldn't ignore. By morning, he had already reached out to everyone he trusted, which, in his world, meant almost no one. But the little information he gathered traced back to a familiar darkness. Lila had been receiving threats. Someone had been following her. Someone knew exactly how to hurt Ethan. And that someone was Marcus Vandal, his former partner, the man who had built a reputation on charm while hiding a venomous ambition underneath. Ethan should have suspected him from the beginning. But seeing Lila's name on those files made everything inside him twist with anger. The baby stirred. Ethan lifted her gently, holding her close as he tried to calm the storm raging inside him. He didn't know how to comfort a child, but somehow she settled, her small body relaxing against him. It was strange, she trusted him, without question, without hesitation. Did she know him instinctively? Did she recognize him? The intercom buzzed sharply. Ethan stiffened. No one came to his penthouse without calling first. He set the baby down carefully and crossed to the screen. A blurry, shaking figure appeared. Long hair tangled, clothes wrinkled, eyes wild with fear. Ethan, please," she whispered. "Let me in." His heart nearly stopped. Lila. He rushed downstairs so fast he barely remembered taking steps. She stood in the lobby, swaying like she might collapse. The moment she saw him, her face crumpled. He caught her before she hit the floor. I didn't abandon her, Lila whispered against his shoulder. I just needed him to lose my trail. I couldn't let Marcus find her. Ethan held her tighter. Lila, why didn't you come to me sooner? He was watching me. He knew everything. He threatened to take her, Ethan. He wanted leverage over you, over your company. Her voice broke. I thought leaving her with you was the only way. Guilt punched him in the chest. He had pushed her out of his world to protect her, but danger had found her anyway. His absence hadn't saved her, it had left her alone. He brought her upstairs, where the baby let out a soft cry the moment she sensed her mother. Lila rushed toward her, but Ethan gently stopped her. It's okay, he murmured, lifting the baby and placing her carefully into Lila's arms. We're all safe now, and I'm not letting anyone hurt either of you again. Lila looked at him through tears, as if seeing the man she once loved reappear. The baby nestled between them, small but powerful in the way she bound them back together. For the first time in years, Ethan wasn't fighting for a company, a reputation, or a future built on power. He was fighting for his family, one he never knew he had, but now couldn't imagine losing.